Hey, Devon. Hey, Amanda. How are you guys doing?
We're great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Ah,
doing
excited,
great.
excited to have you guys on the show. Tell us who you guys are, what you do.
Okay, so we are with Elevation Marketing. Devon and I are the co-founders. We brought our businesses together 6 years ago. We had previous agencies before that, and we are focused on the home services niche. So roofers, custom home builders, plumbers. That's our bread and butter. And we've recently gotten in contact with you, Jason, and we're learning so much about how to make our agency even smarter and stronger.
Very cool. Awesome. How did you guys get started? Like what made you guys start your first agencies before you guys came together?
Yeah, so the way it happened for me is I was kind of working in the corporate world, engineering and construction and doing marketing there. But my husband, he is the owner of a roofing company, and there would be so many mornings where he's like, we got a couple feet. I think I'm going to go snowboarding, or I don't know, or I'm going to go to opening day. And I was just confined to like PTO and I don't know, getting up and commuting for 11 miles for an hour to like go be miserable in an office somewhere. So um I kind of got inspired by him, and so after watching him do it, I'm like, I think I could do this on my own. And so I was inspired by him and took a page out of his book and started my own
So you
company.
wanted to go snowboarding. That's what you
I
wanted to do.
did. I wanted to go snowboarding without having to ask for it and like count my days off and my PTO. And I had been in construction engineering and I loved it. And then I thought the grass was greener in like financial marketing. So because they were offering me like a crazy amount of money. So I left where I was happy. And then I went into this like financial world for just a year and I was miserable. So at about the 9 month mark, I'm like, I could do better. So I kind of learned financial compliance and all that. And then it was for a mortgage company, and those loan officers were like, I'd hire you on the side. I'm like, oh, I already have clients. Okay, let me do this. So that's how it happened for me. And Amanda had, she was a little more ballsy than I was.
Yeah. What's your story, Amanda?
So
Did you want to go snowboarding or go? What?
I just wanted to get out of a cubicle. I went and worked for an agency straight out of college, and I rolled in there, and they're like, "Have you ever heard of pay-per-click?" And I like sat down, and they taught me how to run it, and it's kind of crazy as well, like how quickly they just gave me a bunch of clients, and I've learned on other people's money how to run ads. Um, and this was early 2000s, and that was when it was the thought of working from home was
Was this
so.
Overture?
It was iCrossing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so they're here in Scottsdale, and I learned a ton from them. And I got a huge network, but I just decided that I didn't like having to go into an office every day, and got one contract with somebody else who I was working with there to go run pay-per-click for them, and then just kind of went from there. And my degree was in public relations and journalism, so I knew how to write. So I kind of just started doing content writing and managing ads for people, and that was many moons ago. So I kind of started a pretty small niche agency where I was finding other people that were doing the SEO side of things, and we were collaborating and working together. And that's, years later. I mean, I started my agency in 2007, and then Devon and I joined our agencies in 19. So I had a minute out there in the real world working with different agencies. So it was really exciting to me when we decided to come together. I just learned so much about like what I did and didn't want to do, and seeing people treat customers like numbers in some cases, and then just not managing things well or not treating contractors well. So I just feel like I kind of came in with a good playbook of things we wanted to avoid, and didn't want our customers to just be a number. So
Yeah.
Devon and I were already working together. We knew we worked well together, and it was like, let's just do this. So
Very cool. So
yeah.
when you guys started your guys' agency, it was total freedom, right?
Oh, total. Well,
Yeah.
no answer to it all.
It's
No
easy.
pressure, no stress. Yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah, it was like snowboarding all the time,
Oh yeah,
getting out of the
totally.
cubicle, clients falling from the rafters, and money that's raining down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's what we
Yeah.
think it is, right?
Yeah,
There
exactly.
was, there was the freedom, but then you don't take into accountability the stress,
Yep.
the risk, like these people trusting you with their businesses. So now you can't sleep at night when things like you're not moving the needle, but you're doing all the same things that work in this other market. Why aren't they working here? Like, yeah, there's the calls at all hours. Yeah, it doesn't you don't think about that when you see your husband getting out of bed to go snowboarding.
No, yeah, that's the beauty about some other businesses, like especially the roofing. Like you get the roof done, you don't have to think about that client anymore.
Yeah.
Right. With what we do, especially in the service-based business, we're constantly thinking like, how can we make this better for our clients? And it
Yeah.
really kind of people don't really ever talk about it. It never stops. Like my mind is always like, we just had a team meeting. I felt bad for some of the team because my mind was somewhere else on the next objective. Right. Like it's like, I got to create this video. Here's all the things I need to create on this video. Boom, 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 boom. And we're like, I got to get this done. Oh, we got to do this. And so it was like, you're never on one focused thing. Like I always look at people's professions. Like, I just got my pilot's license not too long ago, and one of my friend's kids wants to be an airline pilot. And I goes, well, why do you want to be an airline pilot? And he goes, well, I want when I shut off the airplane and I walk out of the airplane, I have no responsibilities whatsoever. I'm like, wow, right? Like that's really cool. But then I started thinking, and I go, well, but if you set up your business, you set up your agency with the right people, the right systems, that kind of stuff, you can start achieving little by little to get closer for that.
Yeah.
Um, let's transition into why did you guys come together to join agencies? What was missing? What did you want to fill? Because there's a lot of people thinking, going, they're doing it. My wife has an agency on, that she's doing by herself, and she's constantly, she never comes to me for anything, which I respect. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
you want this? Like, I got all this stuff. Like, I didn't even know she had an agency for a couple of years, which is kind of funny because we never talk about work. But right, like, it gets challenging where you're like, I don't know what to do. Why did you guys come together?
We could both go on and on about this, but well, I'll start. So we had like I said, we'd already been working together, and Devon's husband has that very successful roofing company, and we'd had a lot of success with Cody's company. And I was actually on a vacation, right? We were newly engaged. It was before our wedding. I was floating in the ocean in Italy. And I'm rolling back in to, just check my email real fast. And Devon's in my world. Everything we were working on together was like, it was good. It felt like good vibes. And then all my other clients, it was just, I'm like, I just want to shut my computer and never come back to the United States. So I reached out to Devon, and I was just floating out there in the ocean. Like, how do we do this? Like, that was kind of where the beginning of us like niching down and just going for it together went. Cause that was the part of work that I was enjoying. And I knew we were having a really positive impact on him. And I knew we worked really well together. So that was kind of a no brainer for me.
So you wanted to get away from some of the troublesome clients, or was that?
Yeah, some of the chaos and the things I couldn't control as much, because some of them were clients I'd worked with for a long time, but they were bringing projects to me and I was helping them fulfill on them. And I shit was rolling downhill. And it was coming to me while I'm sitting in Italy, and there was nobody covering for me. Instead, it was just like, I don't care where you are in the world. I need your attention right now. And I was just done with that type of work-life balance.
24/7. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd always tell my clients you have 24/7/7 support, 24 days out of the month, 7 months out of the year. You can reach me.
Seems like a fair balance.
That's right.
Yeah.
Devon, what about you?
It was, kind of the same idea. I think for me, I had hit a place where I wanted to grow more. And again, everything I was doing with Amanda, I liked that bigger kind of package for clients. It seems like they kept coming to me wanting to do like more, add more services, add more things. And it seemed like for Amanda and I, if we just like could have a pretty solid base just by cross-selling each other's existing clients and then just keep it rolling, because it did make work more enjoyable. For me, I also really missed having someone else to bounce like ideas off of. I overthink and have like analysis paralysis, and I constantly wonder if I know what I think I know. And so just having that conversation with someone who you could just have a smart I don't know, intelligent conversation about any new changes or problem solving, or even like pain points. Like, why is this? Why do I feel like I'm always behind here? Or whatever it is. It just, I missed that piece of it from kind of the corporate world where there's that collaboration with your team. And so, anytime we would problem solve, even before we merged, it was always like the best outcome for the clients. And I felt good about it. Amanda felt good about it. So it was like, I don't know. The having that partnership and someone that you really trust. And I mean, I don't know. It just, that was like the missing piece for me, because I was growing individually at a pace I could never have just kept with, because like the roofing world, and now as Amanda and I learned how we've niched down into home services specifically, it's so competitive. And so people kept finding my agency through my husband's site. They're like, if you can rank a roofer in Denver, you can rank me in Dallas or Omaha or these other competitive markets. So I was, so it was great, but I'm like, I will fail. So it just kind of, yeah, it was a marriage that was meant to happen. That, and then it just felt like it was time to start scaling up. I had liked the level I was at for a while, but then my oldest son, he was getting a bit older, and I just had more time on my hands too. So it was all of these perfect things combining at the same time.
What's the reason? What's the reason why you guys wanted to scale up? Because some people get to a point where they're happy where they're at, right?
Yeah.
And they try to maintain that, which is harder, I think, than kind of
Yeah.
scaling up. But what was the reason why to scale up? What did you feel that was missing, or what did you want?
Well, for me, it was Devin and I had to wear so many hats. We were busy. We're busy enough in what we were doing that we could pay the bills and be happy. But like, I don't necessarily want to like touch every area of the business. And if we can scale up, get a few more clients, be more systematized and more processed, then we can get somebody who's a true expert at like managing the content side of the world. And I don't also have to do content and paid media. I could focus where I'm good in the agency and where I feel like I can make the biggest impact. And then we can find some more people to share that mental load with us, so that some days we can take a vacation, or Devin can go snowboarding, and we're not like trying to play whack-a-mole. But at least for us, I feel like we were at this point that like we were both growing, but we weren't big enough that we could take on the team that we have now. We couldn't keep them busy all the time, but now we've been able to scale to keep them busy enough to share the mental load.
Yeah.
And I think on that side of things, I completely agree. And then also, we saw like a lot of bad players in this niche, and it was frustrating for me to see, because a lot of guys that roofers I met through my husband's company, different conferences and things, but there's so many people that get taken advantage of. And not, I mean, I like money, I like growing, I like that part of it, but it was how much bad information was out there, and how many small businesses we saw getting taken advantage of. Just it was, I don't know, it bugged me. And so I felt like there was a way to like do the right things. And Amanda and I, we started our podcast just knowing we couldn't serve the whole world, but trying to get good information out to business owners. Like, it really bothered me, and especially because I see all the emails that my husband gets like daily from marketing agencies, SEO agencies, like all of these people telling them they need all these things. So it was just so frustrating seeing it over and over again. We're like, well, if we could get bigger, have a further reach, like share more information, like we could have a positive impact. Even if we don't get everyone as a client, at least they would be armed with good questions to ask to make a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times when I chat with agency owners, they go to me, they go, I want to do less, but I don't want to scale, because that means if I have more people, I have more work and more responsibility. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, at the end of the day, right, a lot of times most people want to scale so they can have more freedom. Like Devon, you're a lot like me on, I'll see the ads of the people on, in my social media feeds going, or even an email or DMs. I mean, it's all over the place. I
Yeah.
can guarantee you 1,000 leads or you don't pay me
Yeah.
anything and I'll pay you 5,000, right? It's the same stupid offer a
Yeah.
thousand different times. And I used to be like, well, I need to get so big. I need to just, so people know that's the crap. But, I look back and going, look, there's always going to be, it's kind of like there's always evil and there's always good. And
Yeah.
it always has to be the yin and yang. Because if everything was good, then how are you going to differentiate yourself?
Yeah.
Because that was one of the main reasons a long time ago I wanted to scale. And then I realized to myself, I'm like, I'm just giving too much attention to those people. And I got to
Well,
constantly remind myself that, because it does piss me off every time I see it, because I know it's a total ripoff. And I know people that have tried it. I'm like, don't do it. But then at the end of the day, I think it does come down to like what you were saying, Amanda, of like, I want to scale so I can get rid of the stuff I don't want to do anymore.
yeah, exactly. I want to be able to, focus where I know I'm good. And I want to find people that are really good at other things and celebrate them and share them with our client base. Like for a while, I was managing our entire content calendar. So I was having to come up with content topics for everybody,
Oh
interview
my
all of
gosh.
them, run all of our ad campaigns, do all the things. And I would just fall asleep at night. And I'm like, I don't even know where to focus my attention. And that's not good for anybody. So, I mean, I think I did a pretty good job as long as I had to. But then once we got someone else on board that's doing the content, she's like, I don't know how you did this. And I'm like, I honestly don't know either, but it was sink or swim. So I had to
It's
swim.
it's amazing when you get the right team members that you don't have to manage, that manage themselves. Like that's the
Yeah.
secret I tell everyone is you just have to be the leader to allow them to get to the points where they manage themselves, that you make them a better leader. And then it's pretty cool when someone sells a deal, they deliver amazing service, and you had no idea who this client was. Like when that first happens, you're like, wow. And then it happens again and
Yeah.
again and again. And then you're like, oh, that shit, the agency doesn't need me. And then you're like, yes, it does, dummy. You just need to do something else.
Yeah.
Like to grow that, to get more attention, creating a podcast, coming on podcasts, that kind of stuff. So that's cool. Um, Obviously, you had great success in the roofing industry because of your husband. Why did you guys start drilling down, even further into the home services? Like, did that make a big difference in your agency, or were you guys kind of scattered before?
We were so scattered. We had like a dog walking or dog training franchise,
Ooh.
cannabis companies. We like managed IT, but I think we met a lot of contractors outside of roofers through an organization called Breakthrough Academy, and they're a contractor coaching group that's in Canada, out of Canada, but they service a lot of guys in the U.S. So my husband's company was in that, and so we met a lot of contractors through there, and then we just started killing it for electricians, landscapers, plumbers, like through some of the contacts there, because that group is based off of revenue, not just your specific industry. And so we just we performed really well for them, and then referrals. So our business was really founded on referrals and people finding us through us, putting our name in the footer of these, some of the, the websites, and then people figuring out that's where you figure out someone's web agency or IT company or website management company. Anyway, yeah, they found us. They're like, so it was really just referral based. We've never done a great job promoting ourselves a ton. We're trying to get better at that, Jason. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn from you and the group we're in now. But yeah, so it just we just kept crushing it for these contractors. So it was great.
Yeah. And we questioned ourselves for a minute too. We were like, are we going to shoot ourselves in the foot by saying this is our niche? And we've never looked back. Like I couldn't, if anyone's out there listening to this and leaning towards it, I couldn't recommend enough. Just back yourself and go for it.
Yeah. I used to love in the days, I guess it still is apparent in some industries where you could put like powered by or designed by and then
Yeah.
have your agency, right? Like that was really big in the 90s and the early 2000s. And
Yeah.
yeah, we got a lot of business from that. People like, oh, you got a website. Like that's how old I am now. I'm like, oh yeah. Um, and that was that was the secret. So I'm glad that trick still works.
Yeah, we don't, I don't know if we do it all the time now. It makes me think I don't know, I should look at the ones that still have it on there. But yeah, definitely worked for a while. And then we're like, yeah, I don't know. Some of them
Yeah.
we do. We don't manage all of the sites anymore. We only have like a handful of clients that aren't
Yeah.
on our server, but
Yeah.
yeah.
What? Yeah, I always tell people too when they finally do pick a niche or they try it out, you still can do work outside of that as long as it matches up with your systems and your process, right? The thing is like if you take on a client and it's like a total new process and your team's spending all this time trying to get up to speed on this, like it just delays it.
Yeah.
But if you can start continuing to get roofing clients or trailer clients or whatever it is, right? Like it's just so systemized. And then you
Yeah.
know exactly what they need to do, what you can actually do. And it makes it so much easier where now you're more profitable. Like what used to take you 100 hours takes you 10 hours and you still can charge like you're the
Taking.
$1,000 an hour,
Yeah.
hopefully, right? Like charge for
Yeah.
expertise.
Well, and one of the things I love is that, like, we have this team of content writers that writes really strong content for us, and they know the industries. So, like, the questions that are asked in our content interviews, the content we're writing, it's not one size fits all. But we already know to ask a really smart question to this landscaper in Wisconsin because we know this landscaper in Minnesota, and we know that these are some of their pain points, and they're always really impressed in our intake because we're able to ask these questions that are very specific to their industry. That if you just went and hired another agency that doesn't have that background, they're not gonna even know to ask.
Yeah, exactly. Well, awesome. Well, Devon and Amanda, this has been a lot of fun learning your story. And is there anything I didn't ask you that you think would benefit the listeners listening in?
Great question. I don't think so. I think we covered it.
Cool. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. And if all of you listening in enjoyed this and you want to be around other amazing agency owners that can feel your pain, that can sympathize with you and understand, and also see the things you might not see, and give you that confidence and that direction that you need in order to get to the point where you can get rid of the stuff that you don't like. I'd love for all of you to go to the agencymastery.io and there's a couple of different resources you can go there, click on training, all kinds of resources there. And then if you want to scale faster, click on and we'll have a conversation and we'll point you in the right direction. So until next time, have a swank day. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you want more content like this, make sure you click on the link on the screen or check out your most popular podcast platform where the full episode is there. And until next time, have a swank day. What are you doing? Go check it out. Click on the link. I'll see you soon.